All right. Welcome back to What's Niggling Me. Okay. I wrote the fat joint for this. Okay. I remember when I was younger, there was this girl I thought was an amateur, and then I found out she was a pro. And I couldn't believe the deception. I was deceived. She was pretending to be an amateur. Now, it's been a long time since then. I'm wise to it now. The moral of that story leads me into this story. Not really story, but an explanation as to why I say there will be no Palestinian people living in the current Palestine in the near future. Not because I want that, because of all the reading I've done. And that's why I keep saying people need to get those people the fuck out of there. I've done maybe 30, 31 episodes, something like that. Maybe 10 of those, I've said this exact same fucking thing. If those people, if Egypt, Jordan, people don't take those people. Ireland, at one point, I'm pretty sure they were willing to take those people. If Jordan, I understand these countries are not thriving. Egypt is definitely not thriving. But Jordan has a fuckload of Palestinians to begin with. How bad does it have to get? How bad is it going to get till they take the rest of them? How many fucking innocent people are they willing to let die? We're taking some in here in Canada. We can't take the whole fucking country. Okay. A bunch of this is sad truths, is what it is. Donald Trump, and if you've watched any or all of the episodes, Donald Trump is good for free speech. He's good for the economy. No matter how deranged you are, he's good for those things. He's good for the future for tech. That's not true. He is going to help tech advance itself. And clearly it fucking needs to, because this is not part of this episode. China proved why I think they fucking took that plane years ago. Their technology is elite. No matter how much the West wants to fucking tell you they're behind. They're not behind. They're fucking liars. They just want to make them sound like they're not powerful. China is fucking powerful. They have a generational plan, not a fucking 4-year term plan. Okay. That side note. So, Donald Trump, he is, if you want to fucking complain at something, he's deporting a fuckload of illegal immigrants that fucking break the law. Get the fuck out. Canada, if you break the law, you're a fucking, if you're an illegal immigrant, get the fuck out. It's fucking simple. There's ways to do it legally. My brother just got his fucking citizenship in the fucking States, doing it legally. It took a long fucking time. He didn't fucking take a flight to Mexico and walk across the fucking border. Donald Trump. It doesn't even matter who. because Biden, this literally doesn't matter who. I can go back down the list. Whatever politician it is, they're helping Israel. They're not helping Palestine. None of them. Doesn't matter who you fucking vote in. Doesn't fucking matter. I looked. All of them. They all bow to fucking... They all, like, put their face on the fucking wall in fucking Israel. They fucking weep. Okay. So Trump, if you want to fucking say, oh, how could you support him, whatever. He's good for a bunch of other things. The Democrats are good for absolutely zero for me. Zero. Liberals, zero. Name me a fucking policy that they're fucking good on. Because I don't know one. Donald Trump is not good. He's amazing for Israel. And this episode is why. And I don't want this. This is the fucking sad truth that I've been fucking preaching. Two-state solution, that's a fucking lie. Anybody who fucking says we need to work towards a two-state solution, lie. Or delusional. One or the other, lie or delusional. It's going to be all Israel. That's it. That's it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because for 130 years, that's been the plan. Not more than 140, pretty much. Not 120. Around 130 years. The plan's been for where Israel is right now. That was the plan. And it wasn't the plan from one person that in 1870, I'm very sure, in my opinion, no Jewish person in the land that it wasn't Israel then. But what is currently Israel now? Anybody living there in 1870 was not talking about making that Israel. None. 1880s, the plan developed. And these were European Jews making this plan. Thomas Herzl. Joseph Trumpeldor. Okay. So, the current guy, he's a piece of shit. Benjamin Netanyahu. That guy's a real piece of shit. Everyone knows his name. All over the world, and everyone knows his name. But he's super intelligent. And he fought in wars. This guy's not fucking dumb. They constantly try to make Putin look like he's dumb. He's not fucking dumb. Our Western media keeps trying to give the illusion that we are so much smarter than these peasants around the world. They're fucking intelligent. I don't know why our leaders don't let the news tell the public that there's intelligent people. No, they tell you that they're crazy people with weapons, with mass destruction. That's what they tell you. And these people are fucking intelligent. Go watch Gaddafi interviews. This guy was about to have an African currency. They were about to be independent from the Western world. So that's why they fucking took them over. Saddam Hussein, same thing. Idi Amin, same thing. He comes up in this Israel thing. Benjamin Netanyahu's brother got killed in Uganda while Idi Amin was in power. I've been researching for a good year, over a year now. I want to understand. And it just opens more doors. There's more dots to connect. I'm pretty sure Benjamin Netanyahu is related to Javier Milei, the president of Argentina. Benjamin Netanyahu's dad is the main reason that I believe in that Greater Israel is the plan. Ben Zion is his name. I can't really pronounce Benjamin. Jewish people got some pretty cool names. When I read through them, Yitzhak and stuff, they got some pretty cool ones. Schneerson, this one guy, big advocate. So I gotta bring these people up here, okay? So, but Ben Zion Netanyahu. These people are very intelligent, okay? These people, and they play a long game. These people that I'm going to talk about are very intelligent, and it's real trippy. Because I seen this guy's birthday, and it's trippy because in Israel, they go by a different calendar than we do. It's not 2025 there. It's like 5,000 something years old. The year 5,000 something, I think, right now. Trippy. Ben Zion Netanyahu. He was born Ben Zion Milei Kaskowski. Malekowski. That's why I think Javier Milei is related to him. Because at different times, my last name got changed. I think in the 1800s. But they dropped that name to get rid of the Jew to fit in at different points in history. And Javier Milei, I don't believe him, but he says he didn't know he was Jewish till pretty recently. I don't believe him. He thinks he was Italian and something else. But when you look at when he looked at his ancestry, he had to have known that he was an Eastern European. Like, he had to have known. And Javier Milei, huge Shabbat guy. Okay? This sect, it's way different than North America. This sect of Judaism, these Russian Orthodox fucking people, created I can't pronounce that word. Shabbat Lubavitch or something like that. Lubavitch. Revisionist Zionism. That's the Netanyahu way. That goal is Greater Israel. I will read you some of the words of Ben Zion Netanyahu after I tell you a little bit about his background. He's a Polish-born these are not my words right here, though. He's a Polish-born Israeli encyclopedist, historian, and medievalist. He served as a professor of history at Cornell University. Benjamin Netanyahu was born in Tel Aviv, but his brother was born in New York because Benjamin Netanyahu's dad worked in New York. He was a scholar of Judaic history. He was also an activist in the revisionist Zionist movement who lobbied in the United States to support the creation of the Jewish state. Yeah, trust me. Benjamin Netanyahu's dad, Ben Zion Netanyahu, who lived to 102 fucking years old. My joint's canoeing. Was integral in creating Israel. very important in it. But that's just his early years there. He was an editor of the Hebrew Encyclopedia and assistant to Benjamin Jabotinsky. That guy, born in Russia, in the Russian Empire in 1880. See, this is what I'm saying. The Russian Jews were some badass motherfuckers to make it there to Israel. They fought in some nasty fucking fights, nasty wars in the late 1800s and the 1900s. The Russian Jewish people, fuck, those people were tough people. No disrespect, but a totally different... This sounds fucking... It's not... I'm not using it in a derogatory way, but these were the Jews of the old Russian Jew and the North American Jew are nothing alike. I read some quotes in here from, it could have been Jabotinsky, it was somebody, about the Yid in the Hebrew and getting rid of the Yid. Yeah, I don't think it was from a Rebbe. I'm pretty sure. Could have been Schneerson. I don't know. I've read a ton of these people. But, okay, so Ben Zion. Super intelligent, right? Taught in the States. This joint didn't satisfy me enough. Born in Poland when it was under Russian control. Like, did I tell you how when he was born? Like, this motherfucker was born in 1910. Like, way different world. But his views, he was, and you can read everywhere, like, he was a big influence on his son. So Ben Zion. Israeli, taught at Cornell in the States, had his son, can't pronounce his name, where is it? Yonatan, Yonatan, in quotations, Yoni. So, Yoni was an Israeli military officer. Okay, so he was born in New York in 1946, right before Israel was created, because of his dad. He died in Uganda, okay? Uganda. He was a warrior, okay? This is how this fucking guy died. And let me think how what Bibi Netanyahu would have been. Bibi would have been... He was either born in 48 or 49, I can't remember. So Bibi Netanyahu would have been in his 20s. 26, 27. And his brother was killed. They went, the IDF, went and raided in Uganda. This is heavy duty what they did here. The raid was launched in response to This is the 70s, and we don't hear this. But the Germans, they didn't just quit being Nazis. They didn't quit hating Jewish people when Hitler killed himself, supposedly. Because I don't think there's any DNA in any body or bones of Hitler's. Pretty sure there's no DNA. So we'll say supposedly. They helped the Palestinians more than once, but this time they helped him in Munich as well. But in 76, they hijacked a plane, international civilian passenger flight from Israel to France by Palestinian and German militants who took control of the aircraft during a stopover in Greece and diverted it to Libya, then to Uganda, where they received support from Idi Amin, who was, in my opinion, removed by the United States. Separate. Though Israel's counter-terrorist operation was a success, with 102 of the 106 hostages being rescued, Netanyahu was killed in action, the only Israeli soldier killed during the crisis. Now, I've said this numerous times for years. Do you wonder why they're still terrorists? It's because if you go and bomb people, then kids watch their mothers and brothers and sisters and father destroyed in the fucking rubble, and from up in the sky, and then they grow up fucking hating the fucking people who did it. So I suggest Bibi Netanyahu's brother, who was killed because Palestinians and Germans kidnapped a bunch of Israeli people, and his brother went to go get them in Africa, and they killed him. So I think that Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin, blames Palestinians. Plus, his dad's thoughts on Palestinians. They're fucking vile. No, I can't blame him for being fucking mad that his brother died, right? But the hatred in Bibi Netanyahu's heart, I think because he was raised with it. He was raised with just unbelievable rhetoric. People fucking cry over fucking the shit Trump says. Bro, you should hear the shit Benzion says about fucking Arab people. Not Palestinians, Arab people, just all of them. It'd be better, for him it would be better if he never had to see any. That's his, in my opinion, if I could sum up his views. Who am I even on? Benzion, Malekowski, later Netanyahu, it says. In 1920, his family, it says in 1920, the family immigrated to Mandatory Palestine and changed their last name to Netanyahu. They lived in Jaffa. I gotta get to this one part. Benzion, okay, remember? Good, switching on people's names. Bunch of Netanyahus. He lost 2 aunts in the Holocaust, okay, this guy. There's so much about these people. But you have to weed through it, and then I have to go look stuff up because I know it's hard to get non-biased information on this certain topic. Okay, a big part is this creation of Israel. A lot of fucking people are involved. I hear the people are blaming right now, currently, the Palestinian or the British for aiding Israel. I'm pretty sure that's what they're complaining about. British hooked Israel up back in the day, and it wasn't enough, so Israel started fucking up the British and drove them out of there and said, we're going to deal with this ourselves, basically. Because in multiple people's opinion, I've read, the people that created Israel were terrorists in there, and these people weren't Palestinian that I was reading. Okay, Netanyahu became the executive director in 1940 of the New Zionist Organization of America while he was in New York teaching. Okay, so he was quite an influence, I imagine, in New York on the civilization, I guess. If you think people are getting indoctrinated currently in schools, imagine then. He held that post until 1948, when Israel was officially created. Netanyahu believed in Greater Israel. When the United Nations partition plan for Palestine was published, he joined others who signed against it. He had a strong favor of the idea of Arab transfer out of Palestine. And I see this quote here, but I got it in a way longer form. So multiple people were in on this plan. You don't see any Jewish gangster movies. Why don't you see any Jewish mafia movies and you only see Italian ones? I don't know. But I know that Meyer Lansky was the accountant for the mob, but he was Jewish. And he was the accountant for the mob. And he was helping get money to helping get arms to Israel when they were creating Israel in 48. Fuck, I got so much stuff here that's in my notes. Meyer Lansky. Where's that one guy's name? Frank Costello. Frank Costello, after World War II, controlled the ports to send guns to Israel. Meyer Lansky helped fund it through Tibor Rosenbaum. That guy's bank went defunct eventually. He was funding... See, I can't pronounce all this stuff. It's an issue. One sec. The Haganah. That's what it is. The Haganah. So they were funding the Haganah. They were a Zionist paramilitary organization that operated for the Yishuv in the British Mandate for Palestine. Okay? And then, so these are those terrorists. People would call these people terrorists. And then he was also funding, I can't fucking pronounce these fucking names well. We don't have any names like this in North America. Ergun, right? Ergun. I'm pretty sure the Ergun. The National Military Organization in the Land of Israel was a Zionist paramilitary organization. Again, founded in 1931. Jabotinsky. But then they split, and it was the Haganah that was more of the problem. I feel as I was reading. Thibaut Rosenbaum, the Bank of de Claude. That's the bank he was using to run that money through for guns for Israel to fight the Palestinians. Okay. Back to... Okay, so I got an interview. Where is it? I got an interview somewhere of Benzion. Here it is. Listen to this interview. Listen to this guy. Professor Netanyahu. The Jews and the Arabs are like two goats facing each other on a narrow bridge. One must jump to the river, but that involves a danger of death. The strong goat will make the weaker one jump, and I believe the Jewish power will prevail. Yeah, these are all quotes. The interviewer says, "What does the Arabs jump mean, or jump entail? That they won't be able to face any more war with us, which will include withholding food from Arab cities, preventing education, terminating electrical power, and more." Preface. This was in 2009 that he gave this interview, okay? 2009. Fuck, I'm pretty sure it was 2009. Yes. Terminating electrical power and more. They won't be able to exist, and they will run away from here, but it all depends on the war, and whether we will win the battles with them. So the interviewer says, "I suppose you don't believe in the peace process." "I don't see any signs that the Arabs want peace. We will face fierce attacks from the Arabs, and we must react firmly. If we don't, they will go on, and Jews will start leaving the country. We just handed them a strong beating in Gaza, and they still bargain with us over one hostage. If we gave them a beating that would really hurt them, they would have given us Gilad Shalit back." Operation Cast Lead was one of the worst beatings we ever handed on a civilian population. That was from the interviewer. And Benzion's response: That's not enough. It's possible that we should have hit harder. The interviewer says, "You don't like the Arabs to say the least." And what does Benzion respond with? The Bible finds no worse image than that of the man from the desert. And why? Because he has no respect for any law. Because in the desert, he can do as he pleases. The tendency toward conflict is in the essence of the Arab. He is an enemy by essence. His personality won't allow him any compromise or agreement. It doesn't matter what kind of resistance he will meet, what price he will pay. His existence is one of perpetual war. Are you getting an idea of how Bibi Netanyahu's dad thinks of Arab people? Is there any hope of peace? The interviewer asks. Benzion says, out of an agreement? No. The other side might keep the peace if it understands that doing anything else will cause it enormous pain. The two-state solution doesn't exist. There are no two peoples here. There is a Jewish people and an Arab population. There is no Palestinian people here. So you don't create a state for an imaginary nation. They only call themselves a people in order to fight the Jews. So what's the solution, the interviewer says? No solution, but force. Strong military rule. Any outbreak will bring upon the Arabs enormous suffering. We shouldn't wait for a big uprising to start, but rather act immediately, with great force, to prevent them from carrying on. If it's possible, we should conquer any disputed territory in the land of Israel. Conquer and hold it, even if it brings us years of war. We should conquer Gaza and parts of Galilee and the Golan. This will bring upon us a bloody war. Since war is difficult for us, we don't have a lot of territory, while the Arabs have lots of space to retreat to. But that's the only way to survive here. There is valuable experience on this matter. We don't pay notice to. I mean the Ottoman rule over the Arabs. The Turks ruled over the Arabs for 400 years, and there was peace and quiet everywhere. The Arabs hated the Ottomans, but every little thing they did brought mass killings and hangings in town squares. They were hanging people in Damascus, in Izmir. Every town had hanging posts in its center. The Arabs were so badly beaten they didn't dare revolt. Naturally, I don't recommend us using hangings as a show of force like the Turks did. I just want to show that the only thing that might move the Arabs from the rejectionist position is force. To say the least, he doesn't like Arabs. Bibi Netanyahu's dad was not a fan. Now, do you think Bibi Netanyahu, with his dad's views like that, his brother got killed trying to save Israelis from Palestinians? What do we think about Benjamin Netanyahu? He was born in Tel Aviv right after Israel was founded. He's a piece of shit, okay? He's really smart though, but he's a piece of fucking shit. Go watch any interview from the past where he speaks in the United States. There's tons of them over all the years. Back to the 90s. Go watch those ones in the 90s when he's calling for war in Iraq. Go watch them. It's insane to watch them back. Go watch the interviews on the day of 9/11 and listen to the shit he says. It's scary watching those videos back now to see how much control Israel has over the government. It's insane. It's not a coincidence, trust me. They're too intelligent for it to be a coincidence. Bibi Netanyahu. He was in the IDF. He served in the same special forces that his brother did. He went to MIT. And then he worked for Boston Consulting Group and moved back to Israel. And founded and this is in 1978, the Anti-Terror Institute, named after his brother. Boy, does that make me laugh. Because I think he's the master of terror. Fuck off. I gotta just highlight something here so I can look at it later. I like to do my research before I try to speak on a subject. So Mr. Netanyahu, oh fuck, what the fuck did I just click? Yeah, went to MIT and Harvard, okay? This guy ain't no fucking idiot. And so I've been looking into the old Shabbat. Now it's a way deeper dive. But the Shabbat is very interesting. So Bibi Netanyahu, you gotta also read these Israeli newspapers and stuff. They talk way differently. They talk very openly. In the year 5,745, according to Israeli people, I'm gonna say that is 1984 for everybody else that uses. I don't know what that is. Gregorian. I don't know what the calendar is that we use. Gregorian, maybe. I can't think of what one we use. In Canada, we use it. It's 2025. But in Israel, 40 years ago, in 5,745, there's a young Israeli diplomat named Benjamin Netanyahu met with the Rebbe. The Rebbe at the Lubavitch World Headquarters regarding Lebanon 40 years ago. Wait for that water. And he met there regarding Lebanon. And the Rebbe told him, this is quotes, ignore the responses of the Americans, the Europeans, or anyone else. Only do what you need to do and don't show any sign of weakness. This article is from 2024 that I'm reading. Exactly 40 years later, it seems like Netanyahu has taken the Rebbe's approach to heart. And they fucked Lebanon up. He listened to that Rebbe 40 years later. In war, you must wage it with strategy, Netanyahu said. He told a delegation of Chabad rabbis who met with him on Monday. See, some of these names are so cool. This rabbi's name here is Yosef Yitzhak Haranov. Russian. It's that Russian Orthodox, I tell you. That sect is very interesting. They're very powerful. There's like 90,000 of them in the world. They're powerful. So that's Bibi. His dad, his brother, very intelligent family. Special forces. So battle hardened. Ideology is Greater Israel. Like my past episodes have said. Trump, what's he known for? Most known for, besides president? Real estate. That beachfront property is nice. It's just they've kept the Palestinian people dirt fucking poor, so they've never been able to develop anything because they just go and blow it up or fucking raid and destroy shit for $80 fucking years, or just under 80 fucking years. They just keep fucking with the Palestinian people every once in a while. There's the goat. 1 more acre, 1 more goat. Is that what it is? It's a disgusting fucking motto. That's funny, from the Palestine Chronicle. This is 2020. How funny is this? Boy, did this bitch come true. Another acre, another goat is the old phrase. I can't pronounce this guy's name, but it's Chaim. How do they pronounce that guy's name? Ham Wiseman. It's got to be something. How do you pronounce that? How they pronouncing that shit? I don't know. But I can't think of Chaim. It's gonna bother me. I don't know how to pronounce it. That guy Wiseman is his last name. He came up with in the early 1900s, another acre, another goat, and it was all about It was all about the strategy of just keep beating them back. Just keep beating them back. That's what they did. That's what they've been doing to the fucking Palestinian people for over 100 years. They've just been fucking fighting them and fucking fighting them. They were goat herders. These were just fucking farmers. And then these European Jewish people got this idea like, yo, we had that land 4,000 fucking years ago. We're getting it back. So that's where we live today. That the idea came about in the 1880s, and in the 1920s, they were fucking beating them back because 1 more acre, 1 more goat. That's the fucking plan. And the Palestine Chronicle here in 2020 has this quote: Israel's annexation strategy is no longer another goat. It is instead another acre, another Arab dictator. That's 2020. They've gotten rid of Nasrallah and Bashar al-Assad. And a couple other ones, but that I guess some like replacements maybe. They say they've gotten Hamas people. One just came out recently that they thought they killed 8 months ago. I don't know. It's propaganda wars, and I'm just trying to decipher all the propaganda from all the sides. Tons of fucking reading. I wonder why I was bringing up one more acre, one more goat. That is the strategy. But now they're just with Trump. Trump has so much. He loves Israel. He loves them. It's fucking hilarious that they kept trying to refer to him as fucking Hitler, as a fucking Nazi, when he was mentored by Roy Cohn. Okay, Donald Trump's mentor, Roy Cohn, a homosexual man. Roy Marcus Cohn. A Democrat. By the way, he represented and mentored Donald Trump during Trump's early business career, okay? This guy is fascinating. Probably killed, in my opinion. So there were these spies back in the day. Pretty cool story. Maybe I won't be really long, but maybe I'll talk about it in depth one time. But 2 Russians accused of being spies and put to death. And Donald Trump's mentor was the prosecutor. Got him executed. It's a pretty interesting story, though, of how they got caught. But he was Jewish, like full blown. Roy Cohn, listen to that last name. Full blown Jewish lawyer, Donald Trump's mentor. Crazy for a Nazi to be mentored by a Jewish guy. And he was a homosexual. And Trump apparently hates them and hates Jewish people like a Nazi. And they call him a bigot. His mentor was a homosexual Jewish guy. Pretty crazy that they call him a Nazi. But Cohn, this motherfucker, disbarred for unethical conduct after attempting to defraud a dying client by forcing the client to sign a will amendment, leaving him his fortune. He died 5 weeks later from AIDS-related complications after vehemently denied that he was HIV positive. Graduated from Columbia Law School at 20 years old. Tell me he wasn't smart. Now, I'm not saying this guy was fucking the gold standard of ethics. But I'm saying that he was a homosexual Jewish guy that was Donald Trump's mentor. He's had an affinity for Israel for a long fucking time. Miriam Adelson, $100 million donation to him. You don't think that comes with some strings? Don't you think Ivanka wants to build some fucking nice new buildings in fucking Palestine? I do. Because Jared Kushner, her husband, is a Jewish man, and she converted to Judaism. He, and I've already heard, and I think I mentioned it in a few episodes back, that we're going to see how many Saudi Arabian deals happen. Jared Kushner and Mohammed bin Salman, they are buddies. They're around the same age, and I think Jared's a little bit older. I think Mohammed bin Salman's around my age. And except he's got $1 trillion fucking dollars. There's gonna be deals. That is the. Oh, I did see that somewhere that I wanted to mention that. But Israel-Saudi Arabia relations, I think it's bullshit, and all the Arab countries should hate Saudi Arabia for doing this. They're gonna have the best relations they've ever had in existence. Since Saudi Arabia's existence and Israel's, the best relations that they've ever had are going to happen right now. And it's bullshit. Saudi Arabia should not support what Bibi Netanyahu is doing, but I'm not surprised because they dismembered Jamal Khashoggi. And he was just trying to get married. And she waited outside that embassy and he never fucking came out. Pretty fucked up. So I'm not a fan of fucking Saudi Arabia, and I'm not a fucking fan of Israel. Because their governments do horrible fucking things. I'm not a fucking fan of my government. I'm not a fucking fan of the United States. They do fucking horrible things. Now, I don't know any Israeli people. I know lots of Jewish people that I like. I like Matan Evanoff. I like Ari Shafir. I liked Adam Sandler since I was young. That's the first comedy I ever heard. Probably, I think, that I can remember. He had a tape. But Donald Trump is no good thing for that situation over there, unless you're Israeli. I'm not a fan of what's going to happen there. But I'm just trying to give the 1 or 2 people that are going to watch this the fair warning that they're about to remove all of those Palestinian people. Every fucking one of them is going to be gone from there. And it's going to be all Israel. It's the plan. Ceasefire and all that, never happening. Two-state solution, never happening. Lies. Israel is going to beat the Palestinians back. That's the plan. It's been the plan for a long fucking time. They lie. Bibi Netanyahu lies. He will tell the United States what they want to hear and go and do whatever he wants to do. Anthony Blinken's been the one that he's been in talks with the entire fucking time, in my opinion. Not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's talking to nobody. Except himself. He hasn't done anything. Ukraine, nothing. Joe Biden doesn't know what's going on at all. Hunter Biden knows what's going on more than him. Joe Biden doesn't know anything. He is old and has no clue. Do you think he knows the people that he pardoned? Oh yeah? He's just said okay to all of them. He pardoned thousands of people. He didn't even read their names. I don't really even know. I don't really think I have anything else. Maybe I do. I don't know. I just really wanted to give some background on these people. Jared Kushner and his wife both served as White House advisors and took central roles in the last administration. Kushner had a wide-ranging portfolio spanning everything from negotiating a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada to running Trump's 2020 re-election campaign to brokering the normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab states, known as the Abraham Accords. Just watch the agreement that comes out. Oh, so I'm going to get this book. I imagine it's fucking fascinating because he was 70 fucking 2 when he wrote this book, I think. No. He was 92. Benzion Netanyahu wrote a book when he was 92. He's the author. Founding Fathers of Zionism. That's the book. I'm going to get it. Pretty cool. I'm pretty interested. Yeah, the Israel Times. You gotta watch it. Or read it. Like the New York Times, LA Times, Israel Times. Very interesting. Excuse me. It's unfortunate. The expulsion of Arabs. That's what the Israeli people would prefer. Not the Israeli people. I don't know that. I imagine that. I've watched a lot of interviews, so I've heard quite a bit of people's views. I'd actually say, in my opinion, younger Israeli people really don't like the Palestinian people, but I think, like, I've noticed more Israeli people that are maybe in the 40s and 40 to 50 range in there have a different outlook. I think because their parents were really harsh. They were really at war. People that are 40 and 50 years older now, their parents are really at war with the Palestinian people, with the Arab people, Egyptians, Jordanians, African people. Israel was really fighting everyone around when they secured themselves their own state. They unprovoked. They always say they're unprovoked. They always say it. Unprovoked, unprovoked. They are so smart compared to these other developing countries. They have the upper hand. These people came from all over Europe. They are way more educated than these fucking people that lived in the desert. They moved to the desert and have been booting these people off that fucking land for 100 years. Since the 20s, they really started getting after it. In the 1920s, they really started getting after it and booting the Palestinian people out of there. Beating them back, beating them back, beating them back. But it took time. They didn't form any government. The Israeli people took their time. They didn't form any government until they had a majority population. That's when they fucking got their own government. And tons of that. From the recruiting process of getting Jewish people in the early 1900s over there, From that whole fucking 50-year recruit. They'd have like a 50-year recruiting process where it was tough. It was tough to get Jewish people, say in England or Germany, to move their whole family to the fucking desert. Why the fuck would they want to do that and have to do manual labor and build? They're building. They wanted to build in Israel, so they had to start from scratch. Why the fuck would any of these Europeans? But then once Hitler really started and Stalin really started fucking up Jewish people over a ton of countries, after the ones that lived were like, and I think some others that were like, oh, I could say I'm Jewish and we get to have, I get to go to this new place. And I think a lot of them got there and they were pissed that they were standing in sand. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. A bunch of this is, right? All this, it's just my opinion on what I'm reading. If you gotta do, if there's a Rebbe out there, tell me, give me information. I have questions. It's really sad, though. It's all a sad truth, and it's just sad. Where can these Palestinian people go? That's the only resolution. These people gotta go somewhere. I don't want this. Benzion says that they gotta go. Jabotinsky, fucking, they say, Ben Gurion, they say, gotta go. I don't want. I remember when this happened, October 7th happened, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then right away, all I heard was, gotta figure out a 2-state solution. And I'm like, what's going, like, you want these people to live next to each other still? After what just fucking happened? I've been looking into it since. I've been watching documentaries. Both sides. I've been watching the propaganda from both sides. Yeah, I see this. I never read the Palestine Chronicle before. I just saw that there when I was looking at, one more goat. But I look at the Israel news, the Haaretz. I look at these publications because I need to know both sides. I watch stupid Democrat shit all the time around here because I need to know what dumb fucking policies they're up to. They love climate fucking change. That's all it is. And just me saying that right at the end, if I get that fucking thing underneath, that's crazy. What's the problem with it? Is it, we're really trying to push that shit that hard? It's the least of our fucking worries. I already know the miscongeniality, world peace thing. It ain't ever gonna be a thing. But let's fucking figure out a solution for these Palestinian people. They need to go somewhere. Jordan. And let's give some fucking humanitarian aid. How about that? No more military aid anywhere. None. No more guns, arms, no missiles, none of them. You just get fucking food and water. That's what your country gets. Let's $0 towards the missiles, none of it, and no bullets. And whatever country is willing to take the Palestinian people, take my tax dollars. I know I could get a ton of people on board for whatever country takes the Palestinian people. You get our tax dollars for food and water, no bullets. That's what I'm thinking. I don't got remedies for all these things that niggle me. But I think there's one. No more military aid, only humanitarian aid for whoever takes these people. Okay. I have a few other things I'd like to, that I've noticed lately that are niggling me. But maybe that's for tomorrow. I hope somebody learns something if they listen to this, or they heard something they didn't know, now they're gonna look it up, so I know more. This is my future prediction, I suppose. I don't want it to happen, but I just see all of their fucking words. I watched Joe Biden be fucking incompetent for 4 years, even though the news said he was competent. I didn't fucking believe the news. I knew they were fucking lying because I believed my eyes. Believe my eyes when I fucking read the words. But if I have misconstrued their quotes, let me know.